Please don't leave. Please don't leave me. Please don't go. Yeah. Cause I done fell off again. My bad decisions got me in a place of distraught again. Look in the mirror, I don't look the same. I got somewhere in my thoughts again. Try to dress it up, make it look pretty. Silently crying so no one can hear me. And I can't come to the phone. Just please leave me alone. Really, I'm scared. Don't wanna tell you I'm living in sin. The Most High forgave me of my sin. Don't wanna tell you I did it again. Nah, I just need to repent. I know, get up, try it again. Righteous, Abba, please help me fight this. Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you.
Yeah. Father in heaven, I'm having a crisis. You know how heavy this life gets. Fight the flesh with a tight fist, but I'm getting tired and I might slip. Might fall, but I don't trip, cause you're in control of my soul. So if any day I'm feeling hot or cold, I know you controlling them both. This here righteous man falls 7 times while I'm on fall number 88. I would've died in the hands of man, but it's all praise. I would give me grace. Father, free me from my worldly ways. I wanna see the 12 pearly gates. I fought the fight and I kept the faith. Christ took the charge, verse 48.
Don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything.
Take anything,
me, but I need you.
Yeah. Hallelujah. I get it, I'm weak in the flesh and I had to admit it. Had a cheat sheet for the test and I still fell short while bearing your image. Back to the trenches from Kimmage, you feel a lot different about sin when you in it. I can have plenty of riches like Saul, but what's life if I'm dead in the spirit? Repeating my sin like a parent, forgive me for being a burden. Repent to the great physician, don't cut me off like a surgeon. Save me from the Medes and Persians, keep my gaze from the reach of the virgin. Everyone don't have the privilege of serving, I just wanna hear well done with the verdict. Good and faithful servant.
Father, I sinned.
Yeah.
Again.
Over and over again. Mercy, have mercy on me.
Have mercy.
I'm begging you to wash me clean.
Make me new, yeah.
Living without you ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it at
When
all.
I don't feel your presence, I get nervous. Here's my heart purging, and I know that I deserve it, but whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you. Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you. But I need you.
Ya Baraka, Ya Baraka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Waya Shamaka, Waya Shamaka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Ya Yahweh, Ya Yahweh, Panyawa Al Yaka, Panyawa Al Yaka, Waya Khanka, Waya Khanka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yasha Yahweh, Yasha Yahweh, Panyawa Al Yaka, Panyawa Al Yaka, Wayasham, Wayasham, Laka Shalom, Laka Shalom, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, Barak Rapah, Barak Rapah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, Barak Rapah, Barak Rapah, Yasha Allah, Yasha Allah. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazar, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Lathananawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachnawa, Chawbwathnawa, Kasalachnawa, Chaubwath Yanawa, Wala'a, Tabia Anawa, Manasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapa Arath, La'ai Walamyam, Aman.
What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, brothers and sisters? And welcome to another edition of the Lions of Israel class. It's your brother, Priest Daniel, represent Lions of Israel. And as always, I'm joined by the Elder Zahab. I want to say all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, the supreme intellect of the universe. In the name of his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Again, I want to say peace and blessings to everybody that's listening. As usual, and as always, we appreciate brothers and sisters coming to our class on Saturday mornings and fellowshipping along with us. We never can be remiss in saying that we definitely appreciate y'all doing so. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High for allowing us. Hopefully, everyone that's within the sound of my voice is in relatively good health. I know sometimes we all go through certain things, health-wise, but overall, if you woke up and you're generally in good health, all praise to the Most High for that. And as usual, I want to shout out everybody that's watching us on our YouTube platforms, Maccabees TV and the Lions of Israel class. I want you guys to make sure that you guys actually hit the like button on the video. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed, and drop a comment in the comment section. And I do want to say, for those that stick around to the end of the class, I'm going to make some announcements concerning the YouTube platform and some things that we're going to be doing going forward, most high allow. All right, so stay tuned for that at the end of class. I also want to shout out everybody that's over on Clubhouse, that's listening to the class on Clubhouse. As usual, we provided the link to YouTube at the top of the room if there's any technical difficulties. When I tried to log into Clubhouse a moment ago, I was having technical difficulties. My phone started freezing for whatever reason. I don't know what was going on. So we always provide the link to you guys in case there's any technical difficulties. You guys can just transition over to YouTube, where I'll be doing a PowerPoint presentation as usual. And I'll be showing and playing a lot of videos today. So if you can get over there, be sure to get over there. If you're staying on Clubhouse, make sure you guys ping people to the room, share the room, and drop comments in the comment section as well. All right. So without further ado, before I get started, I'm going to transition over to allowing Elder Sahab to have a couple of words to open up, and then we'll get started.
Hey, Shalom, family. Shah Shabbat to the family. All praise to the Most High, man. We saw another Sabbath, so it's a blessing. I don't really have much, priest. Let's get to it.
All praise. All right, guys, so let me just do what I normally do, which is, I don't think, based on the PowerPoint I did today, I don't think the banner is going to interfere with it too much. I doubt it. So I'm going to leave it today. I think the way I structured the PowerPoint, it should not be in the way. All right. But I am going to take myself and Elder Zahab out of the picture so you guys can see the entire PowerPoint. You don't need to see us. And I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. All right, brothers and sisters. So today's class is called A Fiery Invitation to Danger. A fiery invitation to danger. And I think for those of you brothers and sisters that are familiar with, a little bit of the civil rights movement in the 60s, you don't have to be intimately familiar. You can be vaguely familiar. Most of us can get an idea of what I'm going to be talking about based on the image. There was a statement that's attributed to Martin Luther King. And the statement was, for more or less, that he feared that he had integrated his people into a burning house. A burning house. Translation, even before he died, he understood that integration would be detrimental to our people. So we're going to talk a little bit about it today. Let's start off with a basic scripture. This is how it started. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. It says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth." So clearly we're seeing from the very beginning, from the outset, there is a hierarchy amongst nations. And the nation that is the highest nation, that is above all nations, is the nation of Israel. Today in America, if you say this, you will be called a racist. This would be classified as hate speech. But this is in the Bible. And it's so funny that we're classified as being a hate groups and saying hate speech. Meanwhile, the small hats, they use the same scripture and apply it to themselves. And when they do, nobody bats an eye, right? Okay, let's move on. Let's jump down to verse number 15. It says, "But," oh, by the way, so when you read from verse 1 all the way down to verse 14, had we listened to the Most High, had we observed and did all the commandments the way that we were supposed to, we would be on high. We would be above the nations. The reason why we are at the bottom is because, spoiler alert, we didn't listen to this. So jumping down now to verse number 15, it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake me." So guess what? We all know that we chose the latter because we are a stiff-necked, hard-headed people. So we chose the latter, right? It's just like when you have certain children, right? For those of y'all that are parents, you have a child, and you tell your child what not to do and what the consequences would be if they do what you told them not to do. And we all have seen, especially if you have multiple children, all your children are not the same. You have some of your children that are a lot more obedient, and you have some children that are a little bit less obedient. They sometimes they want to try you. They want to test you. That's us as a people. Our Father told us what not to do, but we're those children that want to test the parent to see if you're really going to do what you say you're going to do. I want to see if you're about that. Jumping down to, real quick, to verse number 45 and 46. It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee." Now, I wanted to go into this word pursue because there are people that believe that Deuteronomy 28 was fulfilled during the Babylonian captivity. Some people believe it was fulfilled during the time when the Romans besieged Jerusalem. But the Bible says these curses would pursue us. So I wanted to go into this word pursue. The Hebrew word for pursue is the word radap, right? Radap. What that signifies is that it's chasing you. So we know that we were scattered into all nations. That's one of the curses the Most High said will come down upon us. So what this means is that it doesn't stop at Babylon. It doesn't stop at the Medes and Persian captivity. It doesn't stop when the Greeks were ruling, and it doesn't stop when the Romans were ruling. Everywhere Israel is scattered, these curses are going to chase us. They're going to follow us. They're going to be upon us. And that's for a reason. Verse 45 again. "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded." Verse 46. "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." Translation: when you are looking to figure out who the Israelites are, you need to do more than do a DNA test. A DNA test alone does not tell you who the children of Israel are or not. Because the document upon which all the groups that claim to be Jews, right, whether it's us, whether it's the Mizrahi Jews in Iran, Whether it's the small hats in the land of Palestine today, it doesn't matter. All of us base our claim on the scriptures. All of us. So a DNA test is not enough. The Bible is telling you these curses are another sign of who the people are and who they're not. And what you'll notice in the, I have air quotes up, in the academic world, they skip past the document that we all adhere to and just run straight to DNA, as though that alone tells you who the people are. The Bible says the signs will be upon the people. So wherever the Jews were, and the Bible says we were scattered into all lands, there will be curses upon our people. There will be signs that we're the people. And our claim is, when you read Deuteronomy 28 in its entirety, many of those curses that were pronounced on the Israelites, you can see them upon what you call today so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You see that. So even in captivity, the curses would be upon Israel as a sign. They would follow us wherever we went. Jumping down to verse number 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. That's why it said the curses would chase us. Because everywhere we went, we're not escaping these curses. And from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease. Why would we find no ease? Ease is like rest. Ease is like comfort. Among these nations, we would find no ease because the curses would pursue us. So just because you're not in the land anymore doesn't mean you're catching a break. No, wherever you're scattered, because the Bible said we would be scattered amongst all people, wherever you're scattered, the curses are going to be right there waiting on you. Verse 65 again. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. That's the part I want to focus on. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would God if it were morning. For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. What is that talking about? It's talking about stuff like this, right? Hold on a second, guys. 1 second. 1 second. We build it while we fly. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second because, as usual, let me stop sharing for 1 second. I left a slide out that I wanted to show, so I'm going to make sure that I have that in here. So I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment and make sure that I actually have it. If I don't have it, we're going to skip it. But I believe that I do. Let me just check something real quick. Okay, there it is. Yep. Let me grab it real quick. It only takes a second. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and share our screen again. We are good to go. Boom. All right. So the scriptures say that our life will hang in doubt before us, and we would fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of our life. In the morning, we're going to wish that it were even. In the evening, we're going to wish that it were morning. For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. Because part of the curses that we're going to see is that your life hangs in doubt, especially many of our people that live in the inner city. A lot of people that live in the inner city, when you walk out your house, a number of things could happen to you. The police could mess with you. They could come and stop you and beat you down. Like recently in New York City, there was a brother. He was in a grocery store or whatever like that. And I guess the police, the detectives, were looking for somebody that had a green shorts and a green shirt on, right? This dude didn't have a money green shorts on. He had like a what's called like a lime green shorts on. And the police went into the store and beat the crap out of him. It's on video. They beat the crap out of him, right? Broke his eyelid, busted him up. You know what I'm saying? And now he's suing the city for $100 million. And the man, they come to find out that the man that they were looking for, that wasn't him. And when I say they beat him down bad. So you walk out your house, minding your business. You're not a criminal. You're not doing anything illegal. You just go into the store to grab something, and you might wind up getting beat down to within an inch of your life by the police. And if that's not enough, you got to worry about your own people too. Because the majority of our people in the ghettos are afraid of a handful of, I'm going to call them what they are, a handful of niggers that put the rest of everybody's life in jeopardy. Because Negroes don't know how to shoot guns. So you could get shot down by a stray bullet that was meant for somebody else. It happens all the time. Let's watch this video real quick.
This is me in America's most dangerous city, in Chicago.
Have you ever seen someone getting?
Yeah. And for the next few days, I'll be going deeper into the city than anyone has ventured before. To witness its brutal crime scenes and its most notorious hood at O Block. And the deeper I go, the harder it is to get out.
That's it. One word, 3-letter word. Wow, I was stuck ever since.
This is the craziest city I've ever been to, and it all starts right here.
So this is what the scripture is talking about. This is what it's talking about. You go outside, minding your business, trying to get from point A to point B. You might be on your way to work. You might have your children with you, so forth and so on. And one of these unbridled monsters, because the Bible does tell us in the book of 2nd Ezra that our women would bring forth monsters. A lot of these children are monsters. You might get shot. Your children might get shot. Now, I'm only giving you guys news in New York because I'm from New York. I'm pretty sure that there's stories like this in all your cities, wherever you're from. A couple of months ago, and I'm sure Sahab knows more about it because he still lives in New York. What was it? An 8-month-old baby, 8-month-old little girl in New York City got shot by a stray bullet. Who else has to worry about that stuff? Mainly us. This is what the scripture is talking about. Let's jump over to 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
No smoke. No smoke. But I trust you enough to show you how it is.
As we joked around, the mood suddenly turned sour as one of the guys got a call that someone has just been shot on the other side of Chicago. And without hesitation, we wanted to go there to see what happened.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Did y'all catch that? Who caught that? I'll just give it to y'all so I don't waste time. Social engineering. Didn't we talk about that a couple of weeks ago? Art imitating life. They put that stuff in video games and package it to our people. There's violence and shooting and everything in the music, in the games, and anything that's dealing with popular culture. They push that on our people, and our people actually imitate it in real life. Let's go.
So as we were rolling through the streets of Chicago, we saw this scene over here. And apparently someone just got shot less than an hour ago and unfortunately died as well. What happened? Did it? Just tonight?
Yeah.
How often does that happen here?
Really?
I'm not from Chicago now.
Every day there's a shooting.
Every day there's a shooting. It's normal. Violence is normalized amongst us. I want you guys to get that. Let's go back a little bit. But it's not normal. We know it's not normal.
So as we were rolling through the streets of Chicago, we saw this scene over here. And apparently someone just got shot less than an hour ago and unfortunately died as well. What happened? Did it? Just tonight?
Yeah.
I'm not from Chicago now.
There's so many people getting cars, so many stolen cars, so many guns. Our gear, it's any car you stop and will have a gun or will take off when you got chased.
So we just spoke to those officers, and
so that's enough. I just want you guys to see what the scriptures are talking about. We bring the scriptures to life so we can understand exactly what we're dealing with, right? Let's move on.
This is me.
Let's talk about these devils right here. These MAGA devils right here. Let's look at Psalms chapter 64, verse 8. This is a scripture that we all know. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So here we have a white man having a crisis of conscience and actually speaking the truth. Let's hear what he has to say, because when we say it, of course, we're playing victim, all this other stuff that they try to say. So we're going to allow the white man to say what we all already know.
And the whole history of America is the history of rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown. It starts in the colonies of what would become the United States. Let's remember, during the colonial period, mid-1600s, there was no such thing as white people. I know some people who are now called white find that shocking, right? Because they think whiteness is real. Right? But whiteness was created. Europeans didn't call themselves white. We didn't call ourselves white. We weren't all members of one big happy family. Are you kidding? Have you studied the history of Europe? The history of Europe was about killing each other. That's what we did in Europe. We just killed each other before we figured out there were other people to kill. We just killed each other, right? I mean, that was the history of Europe. The English hated the Irish, right? Northern Italians didn't even think that Southern Italians were Italians. The Germans hated everybody, and everybody hated their ass right back, right? There was no team called white, no race called white, but all of a sudden, in the middle of the 1600s, there was. Why? Why was it?
So understand, before there was what they call black on black crime, there was white on white crime. These devils was over there killing each other. Because that's their true nature. When you see it amongst us, it's being socially engineered. It's what they call the uno reversal, to make it seem like we're the violent, out of control ones that just want to kill, 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 kill. That's them. Let's keep going.
Suddenly necessary to create this thing called the white race. Well, because rich people can count, that's why. And so rich folks looked around, the ones that owned all the land, you know, in the colonies, the colonial elite looked around and they realized something, that they were heavily outnumbered by African enslaved folks, by European indentured servants who were just one level above a slave, or other Europeans who weren't technically indentured servants, but they were still peasants, didn't have any money, didn't have any land, and they could do the math. They added it up and they were like, damn, we got to figure out a way to split these folks apart from one another, or they're going to rise up and take our stuff, right? Because after a while, these black folks who were enslaved Africans and these quote unquote white folks who were poor Europeans are going to figure out they're all getting played by these rich people, right? So ultimately the rich figure out they got to come up with some way to get somebody in that group on their team. The easiest thing is to get the poor European, right? Because at least they look like you. They sort of share some of the customs and the culture. So they all of a sudden create this thing called whiteness and they say, now you're part of the club. Now we're going to let you testify in court, enter into contracts, vote, at least if you're a man, own a little bit of land, at least if you're a man, right? And we're going to get rid of indentured servitude. No more of that, because you're too good for that. And we're going to take the white men, now called white men, and put them on the slave patrol to keep black people in line. Give them a horse and a gun and a badge and make them feel big and powerful, right? They're still poor. They still don't have anything. They didn't pay the slave patrol well, right? Just exploited them, used them as a buffer between the elite and the other poor folks, particularly poor folks of color. And pretty soon the rebellions that occasionally happened where black and white got together to overthrow the elite, those stopped because the divide and conquer had begun to work, right? You could turn people against each other by telling those poor white folks, they got to keep these black people in line. And so that divide and conquer gets initiated in the colonies, rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown.
And that, brothers and sisters, is what your MAGA is today. A bunch of, for the most part, poor white trash that think that they're better than black people because they're white. That's it. The plan worked to perfection. Let's continue.
And
Let's look at the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 8. The dream was really a nightmare. Isaiah 29 and 8, it says, "It shall even be as when an hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth." That's what integration was for us. That's what civil rights was for us. We were hungry. We desired to have what white folks have, to be able to eat in the restaurants that they eat in, to go to the schools that they go to. We desired that. And we thought that was the ultimate goal. And once we get there, we've reached the promised land. It shall even be as when an hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth. Because it's a dream. It's not real. But he awaketh, meaning you have an epiphany. You actually wake up, and what? And the soul is empty. So after you wake up from the dream, you realize you never really ate anything. It was all a dream. Or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh. But he awaketh, and behold, he is faint, and the soul hath appetite. So shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion. So there's a greater context to what I'm reading in Isaiah 29, but I thought the scripture applied to the video I'm about to play. Because this is the Martin Luther King that they don't show you every year on Martin Luther King's birthday. That he woke up from the dream. That was integration. Little black boys and little white boys and little black girls and little white girls all holding hands. All holding hands, right? And then he woke up and realized that was a nightmare.
Confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, I'm not one to lose hope. I keep on hoping. I still have faith in the future. But I've had to analyze many things over the last few years, and I would say over the last few months. I've gone through a lot of soul-searching and agonizing moments. And I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. And I think the realistic fact is that we still have a long, long way to go, and that we are involved in a war on Asian soil, which, if not checked and stopped, can poison the very soul of our nation. I'm not going to say that all of our problems will be solved if the war in Vietnam is ended, but I do say that the war makes it infinitely more difficult to deal with these problems. When a nation becomes obsessed with the guns of war, it loses its social perspective, and programs of social uplift suffer. This is just a fact of history. So that we do face many more difficulties as a result of the war.
So Martin Luther King was like, basically, for those that don't understand, the war is a distraction. As long as there's a war going on, then nobody's focused on the things that he wanted to accomplish, which was to have true equality. That wasn't going to happen. America really didn't care about that. And he came to realize after a while that they had different priorities. So that dream became a nightmare, right? The whole thing of integration. You guys realize that once the United States Army became integrated, for the most part, I'm talking about major wars, America hasn't really won a lot of wars since then. It hasn't. If you want to count the little skirmishes in Iraq, you can, the Iraq war, you can count that. But America has been taking a lot of losses since then. We lost the Vietnam War. Anybody that says otherwise is revisionist history. And for those of you brothers and sisters that's paying attention, you guys see that we're getting very, very limited information about what's going on with the Iran war. And that's not because we're winning. That's not because we're doing a great job. I just want you to know that. Anyway, let's move on. So this is Harry Belafonte, which was a close friend of Martin Luther King. So this is where this whole analogy of the burning house comes from. Let me turn the volume all the way up so you guys can see it. Let's go.
The last time I spoke with Dr. King, from a somewhat anguished place, he had pointed out that he felt that with all that we've done to fight for truth and to fight for community, to fight for integration, that he had come to the conclusion that he was afraid that we're integrating into a burning house. I asked him if he felt with all of this energy that we've expended for peace and for brotherhood and human harmony, if you're integrating into a burning house, what would that make of us? What would we become? And the remark was very simple. We're just going to have to become firemen.
I'll let that marinate your spirit for a second. This is Proverbs chapter 24. I want to read verses 1 and 2. It says, "Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them." And that's what our people desire to do. They desire to be with these evil men. And we have paid a price for it. Why should you not desire to be with evil men? Verse number 2, it says, "For their heart," which is their mind, "studieth destruction." Integration was a calculated plan, a genius plan to destroy our communities to the foundation, man. As we're going to see as we go further in the lesson. "For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief." This was calculated, it was planned. They understood that this is what will destroy our people completely.
Actually, this morning.
So I want you guys to take a look. Listen, real quick. I went away from it. Sorry. This is a video, and I'm not a big fan of Boyce Watkins, so I'm not really paying attention to him. But this is Dr. Claude Anderson. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but very, very wise brother. Speaks a lot about economics. Right? He wrote a book called Powernomics. You guys can check it out. And I want you guys to listen to what Claude Anderson has to say.
Actually, this morning I went live with Normalization with Shelly Moses from Botswana, and and also earlier this week, a young brother you might know about by the name of David Banner was on here, and who has a lot of respect for you as well. And what we were discussing all week had to do with, what codes of conduct as a community should we implement in order to strengthen ourselves. If you think about a football team that wants to score touchdowns, all the players have to have a code of conduct so they can know what the offensive scheme looks like and how you're going to score your points. So for Black people, it almost seems like sometimes we might fall short of that code of conduct due to what you refer to as inappropriate behavior. Now, some of the examples you mentioned, and then I'll let you talk, but I'll mention this. You mentioned collusion with the competition. You mentioned...
I want you guys to, I'm going to go back a little bit. He said about collusion with the competition. I want you guys to keep that in your memory banks. We're going to talk about that later on. Collusion with the competition. Hold on. Let's come out of it for a second. Where are we? We are at 44 seconds. We'll come back. Let's look up that word collusion because it's not a regular Negro word. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page, right? Collusion. What is collusion? Collusion is a secret, deceitful agreement or cooperation between two or more parties. So what Boyce Watkins was saying was one of the things that's destroying us after we integrated into that burning house is you have some amongst us that are in agreement and in cooperation with our enemies, right? We'll come back to it. It's okay. Come back to the PowerPoint. And we're going to go back to 44 seconds. I'll go a little bit before just so we can catch the context.
Things you mentioned, and then I'll let you talk, but I'll mention this. You mentioned collusion with the competition. You mentioned social etiquette issues, avoiding blackness, believing that the white man's ice is colder, and not having a plan for empowerment. Can you kind of speak to just sort of a beginner's manual of where we might begin in terms of putting together strict codes of conduct for ourselves that will help us to become as strong as those who sought to oppress us?
Right. Well, the first thing we do is understand that we've been pre-programmed to be against ourselves and to work and to carry everybody else's water on earth except our own. That's why all these candidates now, black candidates that are filing to run for office, whether it's at the local level, state level, federal level.
So we're going to talk about these politicians because that's the problem. They play a big part in what's the problem is. That integration, and then the politicians afterwards is a big problem.
They're all carrying the water for anybody else but black folk. They're going to carry the water for any ethnic group, racial group, gender group, or political party, but nothing for black folk. They've been taught and brainwashed to carry the water for everybody except black folk, because that was against the black codes that were set up and the slave codes that were set up in history. As I said, the slave codes in 1705 says that black folk could never do anything to the benefit of black folk. In 1710, when they set up their meritorious manumission, they said we will reward you and compensate you and elevate you if you do 3 or 4 things, which I mentioned to you before, that would aid economically, politically, white folk. But it wouldn't do anything but to maintain the status quo on blacks. And also, I told you, after 1870, they had another code of etiquette came out after slavery ended. It was called the Code of Etiquette, and it's 1870. It says that if you black folk started running for public office or get a job in a public position, there are certain things you cannot do. You cannot place any attention on either on black issues or on group-based issues, or try to hold white folks accountable for what they've done to you and how they mistreated you for 360 years. They set that code of conduct. That was called the Code of Conduct for Inappropriate Behavior. They said you're supposed to act against yourselves. You're supposed to pretend like you're standing in front of a mirror and looking in that mirror, and you're looking at that mirror and see when you see your own image, but see it in reverse and do things in reverse. You stand in front of an image in a mirror right now, Dr. Watkins, and you raise your right hand. And you say, and you've been taught to see things through the eyes of whites. Guess what that mirror will reflect to you? You be in fact raising your left hand in the mirror. Blacks were taught and educated to see, and not semi-educated, to see everything upside down and backwards. And we found this in a master's degree program in psychological human behavior, what we call psychological or physiological manipulation, is that we can teach people to see things that live upside down. We found out through experiments, in deprogramming, brainwashing, and my people coming out of Korea. I can take a pair of glasses right now, and I can paint images on them upside down. I can take your glasses and paint the images upside down of anything I want. And guess what? After a short while, to make you wear those glasses, you know what your body and your mind would do? It'll reverse them to where you'll learn how to live with seeing things upside down and backwards. And that's how black folk been taught. They have no interest in their own people, to do anything that's counterposed. That's why if you want to do any shooting and killing, if white folk have taught you that black folk ain't worth a quarter, and then white folks don't have any problem with killing a black person, either like every police is shooting one every other week or two, then you have no respect and appreciation for black folk because you're looking through those same glasses, even though they're upside down and backwards. That is inappropriate behavior.
So that's what integration did. That's what integration taught us to look at things from the perspective and the vantage point of our enemies. That's what it did. Let's keep going.
Actually, this.
I have a question for y'all, because this is something that, through research I found out I didn't really know about because it's not promoted a lot. Did y'all realize that there were a lot of black towns in the South that were against integration? After the Civil Rights Act passed, and they passed mass integration, it wasn't white folks. You had a lot of black people, black cities, black mayors, so forth and so on, black city councils that was like, we don't want to integrate. Did y'all know that? If y'all knew that, put 1 in the chat. If you didn't know that, put 2. There were a lot of black people that did not want to integrate with Esau. If you knew that, put 1 in the chat. If you didn't know that, put 2 in the chat. While y'all doing that, let's play the video. Turn the volume all the way up so we can hear it. Okay, let's go.
What if I told you that some black communities didn't want integration? Not because they didn't want equality, but because they already had everything they needed until it was taken. Let's talk about the towns that said no to integration. Not because they hated progress, but because they saw what that actually meant. The popular version of history makes it sound like Black people were just waiting for the day when they could sit next to white folks in school. But for many Black communities, integration didn't mean access. It meant loss. They already had Black schools, Black teachers, Black-owned buses, Black principals that knew every kid by name. They weren't perfect, but they were theirs. Integration came with conditions. You have to close your schools, fire your teachers, shut down your buses, and send your kids into classrooms where they'd be hated just for breathing. Let's talk about Prince Edward County, Virginia. In 1959, after Brown v. Board, the county shut down the entire public school system rather than just integrate. But here's the twist they don't teach. The Black community built their own school system from scratch. Churches returned into classrooms, volunteers taught without pay. The community kept educating their children, even when the government walked away. White families opened private segregation academies, which were largely funded with state vouchers. Black families built freedom schools with nothing but donated books and faith. And this wasn't isolated, right? There were Black communities all across the South that said, we want equal funding, not your broken system. So after desegregation, thousands of educators lost their jobs. Black principals were demoted. Black schools were bulldozed or abandoned. Black excellence wasn't integrated, it was erased. Kids were bused to hostile environments where they were spat on, ignored, or tracked into remedial classes. We didn't integrate into equality. We integrated into someone else's control. So no, it's not anti-civil rights to say some Black folks didn't want to be integrated into oppression. They just wanted the resources that they were already being denied. Integration was never just about sitting next to white students. It was about survival. It was about sovereignty. And some communities knew if we gave up what we built, we might never get it back. And it kind of seems like they were right.
Well, were they right? What do we have now? What do we have now? Where's our banks? Where's our schools? Shout out Umar Johnson. That's a jab. What do we have? We have nothing. Martin Luther King realized that before he died. A lot of people in the South already knew that. So they didn't want to integrate. Martin Luther King said what? That dream became a nightmare. Integration was short-sighted. And here we look today. We as a people, we have nothing. Let's continue.
What if I told...
Here's Claude Anderson again. Let's turn the video all the way up.
Black folks want to integrate, and integrate kill us for a number of reasons. I'll try to get these points in very quickly. One, first of all, integration is nothing but a new modified form of segregation. Only thing now, you've broken your people down to a smaller unit. You've defied the first premise of power, which is you no longer have numerical power. Now you're in little small groups all around large urban areas. That's point one, is to knock our brains out. Point two is that white society maintains what we call a racial balance, or what we call a tipping point, which says that I will accept Black folk primarily at zero, but I would tolerate them anywhere from up to 5 to 8% of any given population. But the minute they cross that 5 to 8% population, it is no longer integration, it's now invasion, and I must take action against it. So I'll either take my kids out of school, put my house up for sale, move my business to the suburbs, or I will resign from the organization, okay? Because I'm not gonna let him get that dominance over me. Third thing that integration does is...
Now, he's talking fast, so I wanna go back. What he's saying is that with integration, white folks were okay with us coming into the neighborhoods at maybe a 5 to 8% clip, coming into the schools at a 5 to 8% clip, but anything above that, maybe 10%, 50%, 20%. Now these people have power. I can't allow that. I can't allow that. That's why you have what's called white flight, right? You know what I'm saying? One Black family moves into a predominantly white neighborhood, everybody's cool. But you have 5 Black families that move in now, white folks start moving out, right? That's how it goes. Because the more that come in, now you have power. They don't want that. Let's watch that clip again. Claude Anderson is talking fast. I know. It's okay.
Black folks want to integrate. And And integrate killed us for a number of reasons. Now, I'll try to get these points in very quickly. One, first of all, integration is nothing but a new modified form of segregation. Only thing now, you've broken your people down to a smaller unit. You defied the first premise of power, which is you no longer have numerical power. Now you're in little small groups all around large urban areas. That's point one, is to knock our brains out. Point two is that white society maintains what we call a racial balance, or what we call a tipping point, which says that I will accept black folk primarily at zero, but I would tolerate them anywhere from up to 5 to 8% of any given population. But the minute they cross that 5 to 8% population, it is no longer integration, it's now invasion, and I must take action against it. So I'll either take my kids out of school, put my house up for sale, move my business to the suburbs, or I will resign from the organization, okay? Because I'm not gonna let him get that dominance over me. Third thing that integration is done for you, it destroyed all your major businesses, because they use the highway system to drive expressways right down the center of every black community in this.
Did y'all catch that? I know the video ended kind of abruptly, but what he was saying was that it destroyed our businesses. In the places where there were a lot of black businesses and so forth and so on, they use what's called eminent domain. Let's look that up. Niggas like, what? Eminent what? Eminent domain. Let's look that up. Hopefully I spelled it right. What is that? Eminent domain is the government's legal power to seize private property for public use, such as roads, schools, or utilities. They can take private property to use for public use. So what Claude Anderson was talking about was that where the black businesses were, where our centers of business and economics was, the government took it via eminent domain, and that destroyed a lot of businesses in our community. That comes with integration. Let's come back to the end of it right here so he can talk about it real quick.
Because I'm not going to let him get that dominance over me. Third thing that integration is done for you, it destroyed all your major businesses, because they use the highway system to drive expressways right down the center of every black community in this.
So they built highways through the center of most major black communities that had power before. Real quick, let me just let Elazar back in. I heard him just come back in, so let me just bring him back in real quick, guys. Y'all bear with me. All right.
Yeah, priest, you know, the new thing now is deed theft. So in addition to eminent domain, you got to touch on that also. I don't know if it was weaved into your presentation.
No, not today. We definitely should talk about that, because outside of New York, I don't think a lot of people know what that is. So maybe you could touch on it in your class, or I'll touch on it in the future. But yeah, there's something called deed theft as well. Yep, absolutely. 100%. This entire system is built to destroy us, man. Right? And it's the curses. Integration caused a lot of our people to hate each other. Under segregation, we were Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourselves together. We were tight-knit. You know why? We had to be. We had to be. Once we integrated, that destroyed us, because that started making us hate on each other. Let's play the video. Let me turn the volume all the way up.
Isn't it crazy though how that shit is wild? How love and acceptance and being accepted from face value from other races inadvertently worked against us, because I feel like the hate fueled us to be greater. The hate fueled us to go against our odds and prove, hey, we can be equal, we can be even better and superior than y'all views of us. And it forced us to work together. It's like, how am I gonna be shooting you, fighting you, going against you, robbing, stealing from you, when the second I leave this neighborhood, that's what they doing to me. So we gotta ride together. But now we can just freely go wherever we want. It's like, well, shit, I might as well take from him too. What do you think about it?
I don't think MLK, like he said, I don't think MLK ruined it. I think we did. I think that MLK, what he did along with Malcolm and other, activists, all they did was catapult us to where we are right now. I think the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was followed up by the Voters' Rights Act, and those were the two biggest acts in America since then, really. So while I think that it gave us the ability to have options, which then at that point now you have to judge people based off of what they have inside, how they were raised with people.
That's important. I'm going to go back slightly. By integrating, it gave our people options, right? When we were segregated, we had no choice but to be unified. We had no choice. This is a AI generated image of Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? Where you had to support the black bank. You had to support the black theater. You had to support the black dentist. You had to support the black pharmacy, the garage, right? And the same thing with the Native Americans, the same thing with the Latino, whatever. You had to support your own. But what integration did was gave our people options. And our people chose the option of the white man because his water is colder. His bank is better. His theater is better. They're better dentists. They have you'd rather go to Walmart or Walgreens or CVS than go to your own. It destroyed us. That's the point. Let's keep going.
So while I think that it gave us the ability to have options, which then at that point now you have to judge people based off of what they have inside, how they raise people. Due to them having options, they're going to do different things, which that ultimately is what's going to fuck up the community, not the overall MLK doing what he did and getting us to where he did. It's the people having the option now to do what they're able to do, what their mindset is and what they do is what's going to ultimately determine where the culture goes. So I think it helped us, if anything, but we just took it for granted. Mm-hmm. And now we're at a point where we're trying to get back to where we were. I think we were so thinking we weren't nowhere that now we realize, damn, those is low-key maybe glory years of black culture. So I think that's what we have.
Those were the glory years. Before integration, this was the glory years that we had. Because the dollars circulated in our community, we were way better off. Martin Luther King understood that before he died. Sadly. Let's keep going. We have a lot to get through. Let's keep going. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 14. This is an old staple of Israelites that we teach. I'm going to show y'all something. This is Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 1. It says, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning the dearth. Now, I know dearth is not a regular Negro word, so I decided to provide you, brothers and sisters, with a definition so you can know what a dearth is. A dearth is a famine. So the Most High spoke to Jeremiah concerning the famine that was hitting our people, explaining to him why it's happening. That's the context. Why was the famine happening? In the same chapter, we jump down to verse number 14. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. That's why the famine's happening. The prophets are prophesying lies in the Most High's name, like these pork chop eating Christians. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their own hearts. They're telling you what they want you to believe that God is doing, but God never said that. God never spoke to them. God never sent them. Verse 15. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not, because the people were actually listening to these guys. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in the land, because these prophets were telling the people, destruction is not going to happen to you. There's not going to be no famine. Watch this. It says, by sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. Meaning they told you a famine wasn't coming, so a famine came. They told you destruction wasn't coming, so destruction came. So the Most High is telling Jeremiah, this is why there's a famine in the land in verse 1. This is why. Because these people who I didn't send are prophesying in my name falsely, saying nothing is going to happen to you. Y'all are into idolatry. Nothing's going to happen to you. Y'all are into idolatry. There's not going to be no destruction for that. Y'all are into idolatry. There's not going to be no famine for that. And then a famine came. So the Lord told Jeremiah, this is why the famine came. Everybody following along? Okay. That's Jeremiah 14 and verse 1. Jeremiah 14 and verse 2 is what we're about to deal with. Verse 1 is talking about what? A famine. Okay. Now we have to do some vocabulary. What is metonymy? Metonymy. Y'all might be like, well, what's that? It's not a regular Negro word. It's okay. It's okay. Metonymy means a figure of speech. Jeremiah chapter 14, verses 1 and 2 is using metonymy. It's using a figure of speech. Now, somebody's lost. Like, what is this? Okay, let me help you. Jeremiah 14 and 2. Remember, Jeremiah 14 and 1 is what? It's about famine. Right? Why did the famine come? Because there were a lot of false prophets amongst our people teaching our people lies. That's why it came. Right? We see that in verses 14 and 15. Okay. So Jeremiah 14 and 2. As a result of the famine coming, what happened? Jeremiah 14 and 2. Judah mourneth. Why is Judah mourning? Because there's a dearth. There's a famine. And the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Now, for most of us, including me, when I first came into the truth, and you want to prove the Jews are black, we all know this is where we came. It says Judah is black. This is the way we taught it. Is this a color scripture? That's the question. We have to revisit it. Is it a color scripture? Really? This scripture is using metonymy. It's a figure of speech. Y'all stay with me now. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black. The gates thereof. I want to deal with the gates first. Before we get to the black part, let's deal with the gates first. What does it mean, the gates languish? What does that mean? There was a famine in the land in verse 1, right? Jeremiah 14 and 1, there's a dearth. There's a famine in the land. Verse 2 says, because there was a famine in the land, Judah, the kingdom of Judah, is in mourning, and their gates are languishing. What is that talking about? What's the gates? Deuteronomy 16, verse 18. It says, judges and officers shall thou make thee in all thy gates. What are judges and officers? Those are your leaders. Those are your leaders. Those are the guys in verses 14 and 15 that were telling the people there wasn't going to be a famine. And there wasn't going to be a sword. Right? These are your leaders. So it's the leaders prophesying false stuff to the people. That's what it means when the gates are languishing. Because the people that were in positions of leadership weren't telling the people the truth. That's why Judah's in mourning. There's a famine in the land, and the people that are set up as your leaders aren't telling you the truth. That's what this is talking about. It's a figure of speech. Your gates are not talking literally about your gates. There's a deeper meaning. Your gates are your leaders. Your leaders are not telling you the truth. Deuteronomy 16, verse 18. Judges and officers shall thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes. And they shall judge the people with judgment. Let's keep going. This is Proverbs 31 and 23. We know about Proverbs 31, the woman that's her price is above gold, the virtuous woman. Let's talk about her husband. Her husband is known in the gates, where he sitteth among the elders of the land. So the gates is metonymy, meaning it's a figure of speech. The gates are your leaders. So Judah is mourning because their leaders are languishing. Their leaders are telling them lies. That's what this is talking about. Lamentations 5, verse 14. The elders have ceased from the gates. I don't need to go no further. You guys understand what's happening here now. This is a figure of speech. It's not literal. So there was a famine in the land, and Judah was mourning because there was a famine in the land. And the people that were set up in positions of leadership wasn't telling them the truth. Everybody following along? Okay. Now let's get to the black part. It says they are black unto the ground. The word for black in the Hebrew is the word quadar. It's the word quadar. right? When you look that word up, Quadar, first thing I want you guys to notice, and we're going to build it while we fly. I'm hoping you guys are paying attention because somebody's going to come to you at camp and ask you this. You need to be equipped to answer, whether you're in my camp, LOI, or not. It says they are black unto the ground. In Jeremiah 14:2, the part of speech for black is a verb. It's the word quadar. You guys see it right there. Quadar. The part of speech is a verb. So, in the context of chapter 1, where there's a dearth, there's a famine. So Judah's mourning because there's a famine. And we went through the scriptures that show the gates are the leaders. The leaders are not telling them the right thing. They are black unto the ground. In this case, the verb, it means to mourn. They're in mourning because they don't have no real accurate righteous leadership. They don't. It says, dark colored by implication to mourn, or in sackcloth or sword garments. So in this verse's true context and true understanding, Judah being black is not necessarily talking about the color of our skin. It's talking about, it's a verb. It's kind of a figure of speech. We are in mourning. Almost like when you go to a funeral and people are wearing black. We are in mourning because we don't got no real leaders, because our leaders are sellouts. Since integration. That's why we went through that first. Is everybody following along? Now, we're going to keep going. Y'all stay with me. So, somebody might be saying, well, then why do we use it as black? Like, why did we say Judah's actually black? Why was it ever broken down that way? I'm going to show you. It's okay. I'm going to show you. Let's go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 13. Genesis 25, verse 13. We're going to talk about the sons of Ishmael. It says, and these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael is Nebajoth, and Kedar. Kedar is the secondborn of Ishmael, and Adbeel, and Mibsam, but I want to deal with Kedar. So Ishmael had a son. His son's name was Kedar. Brothers and sisters, that's the same word. Let's go back. Let's go back. It's going to be okay. Let's go back. Right? It's literally almost the same word as in Jeremiah 14:2. Quadar. Now it's Quidar. Very similar word. Right? But I want you guys to notice, let's go back. The actual letters, this right here, that looks like a P, and these two right here, in Jeremiah 14:2, are the same letters here. The English transliteration, they have an E here in Genesis 25. In Jeremiah 14:2, they have an A. This is the English, but this was originally written in Hebrew. The Hebrew letters are the same. I'm going to say it again. The Hebrew letters are the same. Look at it closely. This is Jeremiah 14:2. This is Genesis 25:13. It's the same Hebrew word. Everybody following along? Here's what's different. In Jeremiah 14:2, the part of speech is a verb. In Genesis 25, the part of speech is a noun. It's the same Hebrew word, though. And I could go deeper, but I'm purposely not doing that. This is academy stuff. This is not, I ain't gonna go no deeper than that. But you guys could clearly see in Genesis 25:13, the Hebrew characters are the same as Jeremiah 14:2. The only thing that's different is the part of speech. This is a verb in Jeremiah 14:2. This is a noun in Genesis 25 and 13 because it's talking about a person, Kedar. Right? Let's go further. Y'all stay with me. Since it's the same Hebrew characters in Genesis 25 and 13, this word refers to, what does it say? A black-skinned man. That's why, y'all listen to me. That's why when you first came into the truth, Jeremiah 14:2 was used as a color scripture because the Hebrew characters are the same for Kedar, which is described as a black-skinned man, as in Jeremiah 14:2, where it says, Judah mourneth and they are black. It's the same Hebrew characters. But when you look at the so that's why I don't have a problem with people teaching Jeremiah 14:2 and using it for a color scripture. Because the Hebrew characters for being black in Jeremiah 14:2 are the same as Kedar, one of the sons of Ishmael, which is described as a black-skinned man. By the way, real quick, let's come out of this. Let's go to Songs of Solomon, chapter 1. Real quick, let's go to Songs of Solomon, chapter 1. And this is kind of, I'm winging it as I go along. Chapter 1, verse 5, right? It says, I am black, all you daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar. What does Kedar mean? The tents of Kedar is the people of Kedar. Who are the people of Kedar? Black-skinned people, black-skinned man. Now, I could get into the whole thing with the Nakud, whatever like that, but I'm not going to do that. That's advanced stuff for the academy. I'm not going to do that. But I'm showing y'all why the breakdown was there for Jeremiah 14:2 being used as a color scripture, although actually, when you look at it in context, Jeremiah 14:2 is speaking about the fact that our people are in mourning because we don't have no real leaders. Our leaders are sellouts. And that comes through integration. Because somebody's wondering, why do we go through all that? We went through all that for me to show you that our people don't have no leaders, and that's why we're in mourning. Our gates, our leaders have languished. Okay, let's move on. These are the leaders that we're given. Musicians, rappers, these are the leaders that we're given. That's why our people are in mourning. That's why we're in the condition that we are. Because we're given these people, and these people are controlled. This is the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 39. It says, and he spake a parable unto them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch? Are we not seeing the effect of what entertainers, as our leaders, are having in our community? Have you guys not seen the videos of these teen takeovers? I know somebody hasn't. I keep breaking from the lesson, but we have to do this. Let's come over here to YouTube real quick, right? And let's bring up a new video. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And let's go to YouTube. And let's look at these teen takeovers that have been happening, right? Hopefully I can find them. I want you guys to look at this. There's this thing that's happening all over the country where groups of teens in Telegram messages and social media, they're in these messages and they're communicating amongst themselves. They're going to go to some place, a shopping mall, a strip mall, wherever, and they're going to take over. And this is what you're seeing. Hopefully you guys can hear it. If you can't, my apologies. I'm sorry. I don't have this in a PowerPoint. I'm not about to download it right now. Hopefully you guys can see it, right? Maybe I should do this. Hold on 1 second. Let me stop sharing for 1 second and do it a different way. Maybe that way you guys will be able to see it. And then we'll come back to the PowerPoint. Share my screen again. And we'll do it this way. I pray that you guys can see it and hear it. Let's go. If Zahab, if you can't hear it, let me know.
Video to video. With the video reference, set the motion of an entire.
A President's Day takeover turns violent at a Bronx mall, and now other malls are ramping up their security.
Police say at least 18 people are in custody, and most of them are teenagers. John Diaz has this story.
That sound is glass breaking after someone is seen throwing an object into Munchie's Deli on Baychester Avenue. Just one of the chaotic moments that erupted in and around Bay Plaza Mall Monday afternoon.
They tried to break in. We closed the door and we tried to avoid that.
Well, you got to stay on this long. This has been happening all over the country. We have what's called so-called teenager takeovers of malls and all types of businesses, so forth and so on. That's what's happening. That's the effect of making entertainers your leaders. The entertainers are blind. In their message, all their messages about violence, guns, all this other stuff, gangbanging, whatever like that, and the teenagers are consuming that as social engineering. Ice Cube told us that as an insider. He told us that. Well, Malcolm X told us that a long time ago.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
There you have it. There you have it. So when you guys saw, and I know you guys saw it, so I didn't have to include it. When you guys saw it during the presidential election that just passed, Kamala Harris rolling out all the rappers at her speeches, right? Y'all think that just was random? No, it goes back to what Malcolm was telling you. They make your entertainers that are pushing this poison amongst you, they make them your leaders. That's what they do. And the message is poisonous. And the children ingest that. And then what happens after that? Then we wind up having these teen takeovers all over the country where the children are wild and out of control. That's why Esther said, menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 56, verse number 1. It says,
share your screen.
Okay. Wait, were you able to see the Malcolm X thing? If not, I'll play it again.
I saw the
I'll get.
But
right, 1 second.
Stay in the spirit. Stay in the spirit. I'm just letting you know.
No. I got to share the screen. So you're 100% right. It's my bad. Let's go back. You're right. I'm not even sharing my screen. So the water. Let me go back and let me play that again. That's what happens when I go off the script, right? Let's go back and let's play that again because that's important.
I just told you a little while ago.
Now you're in the matrix.
All leaders. This included Lena Horne. This included.
Let's go back.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
So as I said before, I'm gonna come out of it just for a second. As I said before, right? That's exactly what they do. There's no other community that has their celebrities as their leaders but us. Nobody. Let's continue.
I just told you.
Now I want to go to Psalms 56, starting from verse 1. It says, "Be merciful unto me, O God, Yahweh, for a man would swallow me up. He fighting daily oppresseth me. Verse 2, it says, mine enemies would daily swallow me up, for they be many that fight against me, O thou most high. Verse 3, what time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. In God I will praise his word. In God I have put my trust. I will not fear what flesh can do unto me. Verse 5, every day they wrest my words. All their thoughts are against me for evil. They gather themselves together. They hide themselves. They mark my steps when they wait upon my soul. I want to deal with this part right here. So what we're going to have right here in this video, brothers and sisters, we're going to have a brother that at one point was an FBI informant. Some of you guys have seen this video before. Some of you guys have not. If you've seen it before, that's okay. Refresher is good. To go over it again is good. I want you guys to pay attention. This guy was formerly an FBI informant. I want you guys to listen to what the FBI was asking guys like this to do.
In the summer of 1978, I interviewed a man who worked as an informer for the FBI during the 1960s. His name is Dothard Perry, also known as Ed Riggs, also known as Bill Perry, also known as Othello.
So I want to jump now over to 4 minutes and 40 seconds. And I want you guys to listen. Go back a little bit even before that. Let's go.
A whole lot lost. You also were active in the infiltration of many cultural groups. Before we go into that step by step, how much research and study did the FBI engage in?
So I want to say this. I'm going to go back a little bit, right? I'm going to go back a little bit. If groups that were being infiltrated in the 60s and the 70s, we already know that that was happening, right? Y'all think it's not happening now? You think amongst the Israelite community, there's not informants that are doing the same things that this guy's going to tell you he's doing? I want you guys to listen to what he was saying he was doing. Do you guys think they're not informants in the Israelite community right now? Sellouts right now. That's marking your steps, watching what you're doing, reporting back to the white man. You guys think that's not happening? Although I would venture to say the ones that's doing that, you have nothing to report because all we do is read the Bible and watch videos. That's it. But that still exists today. I just wanted to say that. It's amongst us right now. And if that's you, you need to repent and believe the gospel. Nevertheless, we're not worried about you. Listen.
You also were active in the infiltration of many cultural groups. Before we go into that step by step, how much research and study did the FBI engage in of Black culture in the late 60s?
A great amount.
Give me an idea.
From the thing is, I can. They have a file on every type of magazine that Blacks read. They have a file on the music. Music.
They have a file on the music. What is the music that's in our community today? What does it push? It pushes death, murder, kill, and whole culture. The female rap pushes whole prostitution culture. Y'all got it? Okay.
Dance, theater, actors, comedians, you name it, man.
And they would actually study these things?
Oh, yes, definitely.
What would they do with music?
To understand the people, you have to understand the culture. To infiltrate, you have to understand. You had a lot of so-called white liberals that were infiltrating the so-called Black groups using the information that they had gathered from the studies of Blacks.
Remember, Martin Luther King said he integrated us into a burning house. We started letting the white folks in our organizations, and they were really studying us to destroy us. Let's keep going.
You mean just to understand the behavior pattern of our people?
Oh yeah, I can. Will Heaton could name out some jams of Miles Davis that I hadn't even heard of. He could name off some books that I hadn't even read pertaining to Black culture.
Do you ever see agents actually studying the music of?
Yes. I've seen them going over even video portion of cultural events. The understanding, like when, you have an organization like Leroy Jones Black House. You remember that? Okay, Leroy Jones's place, which was done on the thing of tribalism. That's where I first heard the word Kintu, Mantu, Huntu, Hentu. These words of the African continuum. I learned that from an agent. He ran it down to me. They make in-depth studies of the personalities of the people they're dealing with too. Culturally, it always helps when it's a thing of you can take their culture and use it against them.
Salakia. So, Priest, I got a question. So it's fair to say we have FBI agents saying Shalom out there.
Of course.
It's fair to say that, and they could put on fringes, a T-shirt with fringes, and say Shalom, I'm looking to join the congregation.
Of course.
Just like that.
Of course. I want y'all to hear this last part again. Go back a little bit. Listen to this last part again. Listen. I want everybody to listen very carefully.
It's done on the thing of tribalism. That's where I first heard the word Kintu, Mantu, Huntu, Hentu. These words of the African continuum. I learned that from an agent. He ran it down to me. They make in-depth studies of the personalities of the people they're dealing with too. Culturally, it always helps when it's a thing of you can take their culture and use it against them.
You can take their culture and use it against them. Everybody heard that? When and most of us that listen to me right now, a lot of y'all are older. So we don't relate to the music that we see the children, the youth listening to. They're taking our culture and they're weaponizing it against us. That's what they're doing. That's what integration did. We'll bring you in. We're going to make your leaders your celebrities. We're going to study these celebrities, and then we're going to weaponize your celebrities against you. Let's move on. This is Psalms 37. I want to read verse 12. I want to jump down to verse number 32 for the sake of time. It says, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. Skipping down to verse 32. The wicked watcheth the righteous, and seeketh to slay him. So this is an audio of an interview with Tupac before he was killed. And he's talking about how he told Suge Knight, this guy right here, do not hire off-duty LAPD officers as security because a lot of them are actually watching and reporting on behalf of the government and the FBI. The FBI is using them. And Suge didn't listen. Y'all listen to the video.
It's no mystery that Tupac was a revolutionary figure with Black Panther influence, as his mother was a Black Panther herself. This is why he advised Suge Knight not to use off-duty police officers for security at Death Row Records. Tupac, in his own words, recalls how cops were used to frame and dismantle the revolutionary Black Panther Party. Undercover cops sent by the FBI.
The Panthers got everybody talking about the Panthers and we want to be free and we want decent housing and talking good, not just straight good. And they start infiltrating. Now, why would they do this to a young young black organization. And why would you not think they would do it to me? They infiltrated it, meaning they got people to say that they were Panthers, they joined the Panthers, and they would start the ruckus. Like, so let's go shoot up the botanical gardens or some shit.
It's no mystery that Tupac was a revolutionary figure.
I'm sorry if y'all forgive me for that, but I want you guys to pay attention to what he said. He said that the people that would come in the organization, those would be the people that would give bad advice. Hey, let's shoot up the botanical gardens in the name of the revolution. Those are agents. Those are agents.
Panther influence, as his mother was a Black Panther herself. This is why he advised Suge Knight not to use off-duty police officers for security at death row records. Tupac, in his own words, recalls how cops were used to frame and dismantle the revolutionary Black Panther Party. Undercover cops sent by the FBI.
The Panthers got everybody talking about the Panthers and we want to be free and we want decent housing. We're talking good, not just, straight good. And they start infiltrating. Now, why would they do this to a young black organization? And why would you not think they would do it to me? They infiltrated it, meaning they got people to say that they were Panthers, they joined the Panthers, and they would start the ruckus. Like, so let's go shoot up the botanical gardens or some shit. Do it in the Panthers, but it's a cop. You know what I'm saying? And everybody think it's the Panthers because he's just like a Panther. You know what I'm saying? And he's screaming the Panthers, but he's a cop. He's been sent by the FBI.
Now, I didn't have time to go grab it, but trust me, I have the documentary. And this is maybe before some of you guys are a little younger, so you don't really know about this. But we know that the gang thing, especially in LA, is a big thing, right? So around, I want to say 1992, somewhere around there, give or take, there was a ceasefire in LA amongst the gangs. And what I'm telling y'all is that the LAPD wasn't happy about that. And the LAPD would put on the gang colors and then go into a rival neighborhood and do a drive-by. How do I know this? There's a documentary called, gonna come out right now. There's a documentary called, and I have the documentary myself, but some of y'all are not familiar with it, so we're gonna come here and we're gonna learn about it together. There's a documentary called Bastards of the Party, right? I'm gonna have to download this later. This is the full thing, right? But there's a documentary called Bastards of the Party. It's a documentary. And what the documentary goes into after the fall of the Black Panther Party, you had a lot of the gangs in LA that sprung up in their wake, right? Once the Black Panther Party was gone, there was a vacuum of power, and you had a lot of the different gangs that rose up in their place. So later on in the documentary, it goes into how there was a ceasefire in LA where black people wasn't killing black people no more. The police department was not down with that. And so what did they do? They put on the rival gangs colors, went into the ops neighborhood and did a drive-by. The police doing this. This is gang members in this documentary telling you that's what happened. That's what Tupac is talking about with the whole thing of hiring the LAPD as security for death row. That was a terrible decision, because now you have the police actually doing things within the organization and making it seem like it's somebody else. The same thing happened with the Black Panther Party. You had agents that was in the Black Panther Party that was actually causing a lot of problems and making it seem like it was the party, and it wasn't. They were under Hoover's directive. This is our people. This is what integration did. Because now, as a black man, you could join the FBI and turn on your own people. Let's keep going. I want to keep going because time is of the essence. Let's keep going. Let's go to the next slide. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 140, verses 4 and 5. It says, "Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked, and preserve me from the violent man, who have purpose to overthrow my goings. The proud," this is talking about the wicked and the proud are the same, "hid a snare for me." A snare is a trap. "And cords. They have spread a net, by the way. A net is to catch you, a trap. They have set jinns. A jinn is a trap for me. That's these Edomites, these other nations. Now, I want to show you guys this video because some of you brothers and sisters are not aware that this is going on in the peripheral because we're given a lot of BS on our timelines on TikTok and Instagram. So we're not aware that this conversation is going on. So I kind of want to frame the conversation. I'm going to play the video. I'm probably going to do a lot of commentary. Y'all forgive me, but I want everybody to know that this is going on. I'm going to start off by saying, according to the U.S. Census, Black people, so-called African Americans, foundational Black Americans, are about 13% of the population of the United States of America. Yet, per capita, we commit the most murders per capita. Everybody with me? So there's a conversation. This is what Charlie Kirk was talking about, especially him and others as well. Nick Fuentes, the rest of them, but Charlie Kirk, the most popular. This is what they're talking about. These are the talking points they would use when they would go to these universities where he got killed at. They would go to these universities and have debates with the students, and they were always talking about 1350 or whatever the percentage is. We're 13% of the population, but we commit 50% of the murders. This is your MAGA. This is their talking points. There's a lot of nuance behind that. There's a lot of context behind that, but they're not dealing with that. They're just dealing with the raw numbers. Well, this conversation has spilled over where now you have Black people arguing with other Black people about the same thing. Black MAGA arguing with other Black people about those numbers as well. And that's what we're about to watch. So I'm going to give you guys just the background before I play the video, and I'm going to give you guys a lot of context. I want you guys to understand what we're up against, what integration did to us. Let me turn the volume all the way up.
Black people commit violent crimes at higher rates per capita than any other group in America.
So that's the argument. Black people commit violent crimes per capita, because remember, we're only supposed to be 13% of the population of the United States. So white people commit more murders than we do, but they're saying per capita, meaning the percentage that we commit more murders than they do per capita based on the percentage of the population that we are. Is everybody following along? Let's go back.
Black people commit violent crimes at higher rates per capita than any other group in America. The majority of violent crimes are committed by white people, a minority.
So you guys see the graph, right? The majority of violent crimes, murder, etc., are committed by white people. 59% based on the FBI table from 2019. You guys see that right there. The FBI table 2019, white people commit 59% of the violent crime in America. We as so-called Black people commit 36%, but they're saying that since we're only 13% of the population, we're actually more violent than they are. That's the argument. Let's keep going.
By Black people, but that percentage is much higher than the percentage of Americans who are Black, and it's disproportionate relative to other groups. This is true. Saying it shouldn't be controversial, but this is how people respond when someone says it.
These are obviously racist claims, but I will...
So let's go back. So now what he's doing is he is playing a video of another Black guy on TikTok debunking that, which I thought this guy did a pretty good job. I'm aware of this video. I thought he did a pretty good job, but let's keep going.
When someone says it.
These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population. Yes. About half of all prisoners are Black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is Black. That's according to the U.S. government. But it makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the Black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
Or 13% of the population, and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Wrong again, and loud this time. If Charlie were interested in honesty, he would have mentioned the other 1350 statistic. Yes, black people are about 13% of the population, but make up 53% of all criminal exonerations. In fact, black people make up 55% of all murder exonerations. Specifically, black people are more likely than any other group in this country to be convicted of crimes they did not commit. Reality is that you probably know these stats, but you leave them out on purpose, because to bring that stat into this conversation would make some people think. And that's the last thing a person like you wants.
Charlie Kirk was wrong about the prison numbers, but part of Garrison.
Well, let's stop there. Did y'all hear that? White people love them some Charlie Kirk. What Charlie Kirk was saying at those universities, statistically, was wrong. It was wrong. But he's going to try to take up for Charlie Kirk. Let's keep listening.
His response is the problem with how we discuss taboo topics. Instead of acknowledging what's true and what's false, he dismisses the entire point. For example, Garrison cites data about wrongful convictions as if it disproves Charlie's claim. That chart shows that nearly 1,200 murder exonerations happened from 1989 to 2023. But there were almost 600,000 murders in that time frame. That's an exoneration rate of only 0.2%. Yes, black people are wrongfully convicted more often. That's a real problem. That's inequality. But remove every single exoneration and nearly 600,000 murders still remain, disproportionately committed by black people. Now, do racists make the same point Charlie made? Yes, but racists making the same points doesn't make the points racist or wrong. And when we attack honest people for stating them, the points don't disappear. They just move from the light of the town square to the dark alleyways, where the real racists lurk. The defensiveness people feel when confronted with these points is understandable. And it's self-defeating, because you know who suffers when black crime isn't addressed? Black people. Black Americans are murdered at 7 times the rate of white people.
So we gotta stop there. Why, brothers and sisters? If y'all been following along for weeks, y'all been following the channel, it's social engineering. It's through the music. It's through the video games. It's through the TV shows Power. Who's behind all these things? Where's the money that's funding all these things? It's the small hats. They socially engineer these things. It's the only thing our people are consuming. So our people are actually imitating life. It's art. It's life imitating arts. So our people doing that. And then you turn around and throw these statistics in our face, and you're the one doing this the whole time. You're the one manufacturing and engineering this the whole time. Let's keep going.
Other black people. Now, black criminals come from worse backgrounds they didn't choose. They're behind from birth.
Black criminals come from backgrounds they didn't choose, and they're behind from birth. That's the social engineering. That's what this guy is missing. That's why the numbers are what they are. And notice they only deal with violent crime. Now, I didn't really want to go down the rabbit hole, but if we deal with other crimes, right? Child molestation, you know who's at the top of that? White people. Rape, you know who's at the top of that? White people. Period. And the per capita argument does not apply to those particular crimes. That's why racist white people like Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes, and the rest only want to deal with violent crimes, so-called murder, so forth and so on. They don't deal with child molestation. They don't deal with rape and other crimes also as well, because the per capita argument falls apart at those particular crimes. But let's continue.
The generational effects of slavery are real, even 170 years later. That's what happens when your ancestors were slaves for 400 years. That's not fair. That's not their fault. And it is their responsibility, because they chose violence. Other black people didn't. Ultimately, it falls on all of us to elevate the least of us. And to do that, we must be awake, both to what's bad about people's circumstances and what's wrong with their choices.
Right. So circumstances and choices play a large role. Now, I do agree with him there, because even though you're born in poverty, even though you're born in the ghetto, even though you're born in an unfortunate circumstance, you do have choices, right? Some of us that are listening, including myself, were born in those circumstances. We've had lives where you could have chose something else and you didn't choose it, right? So you can make a choice. That part is true. But let's not act like as though that most of our people don't have that hive mentality, like a beehive. Everybody thinks the same. Most of our people don't have that TikTok brain where everybody thinks the same. And so they're being fed and bombarded with these images through the music, through their favorite TV shows, through social media, you name it, of these images of Black people just being violent. So life imitates art. Through the video games, you name it. Life imitates art. That's social engineering. On our own, without the social engineering, we're not that. Because we saw earlier, for those of y'all that were here from the beginning of the class, we saw Tim Wise talking about how white people were killing white people till they created this thing called white people, right? Europeans were killing Europeans until they created this thing. The rich created this thing called white people, where they can all come under that banner. You know what I'm saying? And now they all look down on Black people. That's what it is. It's social engineering. White people are just as violent as us. You watch the ID channel, and you guys will see that. Let's move on.
What?
I'm going to skip this article for now because I think the videos I have coming up will kind of speak to that article anyway. This is on Micah chapter 3, verses 11 through 12. It says, the heads thereof judge for reward. That's the leaders of our people. And the priests thereof teach for hire. And the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil shall come upon us. So the leaders of our people, they will name the name of God, say God is with them, say that they're teaching in the name of God, but they're really doing it for hire and for money. And that includes your politicians. And this is what integration did, especially these churches. God said, Pastor needs a private jet to teach the gospel. And so the wife says, hey, we're only asking for $100,000, which really $100,000 is not enough to buy a private jet. Nevertheless, some of y'all, before y'all came into the truth, y'all love this guy right here.
The finances of a church led by a popular televangelist are under close scrutiny this morning. It comes as Pastor Creflo Dollar asked his followers to buy him a $65 million private jet. Mark.
At that $100,000 that was in that video is way off. The man said he needs $65 million. Man.
Comes as Pastor Creflo Dollar asked his followers to buy him a $65 million private jet. Mark Strassman is outside the World Changers Church International in College Park, Georgia. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. This church behind me is like any house of worship. It is nonprofit and tax exempt, but it is also highly controversial. Most recently, when the pastor asked the faithful to help him travel the world in style.
Dream for the best house. Dream for the best car.
He's a pastor named Dollar who preaches the prosperity gospel. The more you give, the more you shall receive.
Just because the world don't have it, don't mean you can't have it.
Creflo Dollar's sermons pack his 8,500-seat megachurch. His ministry has prospered with satellite churches in at least a dozen states and hundreds of thousands of online followers.
I am the resurrection.
Dollar owns this multi-million-dollar mansion and condo. In March, his website asked the faithful to help him buy something else.
To give contributions of $300 US or more.
A $65 million Gulfstream G650 jet, the top of the line in luxury air travel. One church member, Mary Jones, plans on answering the pastor's call, even though she...
I got to come back a little bit. I want y'all to watch this real quick. This pissed me off. That's why I have this caption here. This is our moms and our grandmoms. I can tell you, I watched my mother do this in church. I've watched my own mother do this in church. So when I saw this pissed me off. I'm just going to say that. Let's watch the video.
650 jet, the top of the line in luxury air travel. One church member, Mary Jones, plans on answering the pastor's call, even though she rides the bus 20 miles every Sunday to Dollar's Church.
God damn it. This woman is driving on the bus 20 miles every Sunday to church, but she's going to get him a plane. Y'all pardon me. It's okay. I seen this, and this pissed me off when I watched it. It pissed me off when I watched it. Anyway, let's go back a little bit. Yeah.
Top of the line in luxury air travel. One church member, Mary Jones, plans on answering the pastor's call, even though she rides the bus 20 miles every Sunday to Dollar's Church.
We support our pastor. That's what we're here for. The work that he's doing, where the Lord have him traveling, he doesn't need a cheap airplane. He needs the best.
But Dollar later took down the video after.
But she don't have the best. She has to ride the bus to the church for 20 miles. She doesn't have the best, but he needs the best. He needs a 60.
And priest, if I could say this too, they don't read the Bible, man, because our Lord and Savior, King of Kings, Lords of Lords, when he entered into the city, he took an ass, a donkey, a lowly animal.
Right.
What would you equate an ass to nowadays, priest?
Get on the daggone regular plane like everybody else.
There you go.
General plane like everybody else.
There you go. You understand? And my mother do the same thing.
Yeah.
I asked my mother, I said, Mom, if you was behind on your mortgage, right? You think the church would pay your mortgage for you? She didn't answer. Our people are caught up in this prosperity doctrine. It's a shame. Go ahead, priest.
That's acquiescence. That means no. By her not answering, when you don't answer a question, that means no. We know. That's you answer the question by not asking. Answer the question. And this is all of our mothers. Our mother, my mother, some of y'all mothers as well. Let's continue. I could talk about this all day. This is why nothing gets done in our community. This is all integration. Y'all want to know why nothing gets done in our community? Because most of the politicians, that's what Malcolm was talking about. That's what Claude Anderson was talking about. Because your politicians are being funded by the small hats. This super PAC called APAC, right? This I is for Israel. PAC is for Political Action Committee. Yes, all your politicians are sellouts. Every last one. Your leaders judge for hire and for money. That's what the Bible's talking about.
Well, I appreciate the relationship that I've had with AIPAC from the very beginning of my congressional journey.
The pro-Israel community fully embraced me.
AIPAC played a very important role in
y'all leaders, my leaders, all sellouts, all for money. And 10 tribes too, look.
But thank you to everyone and AIPAC for their deep and long-standing friendship. It means a lot to me.
The small hats have all your politicians, all my politicians in the pockets. That's what the scriptures are talking about. Let's move on. I want to come to 1 John chapter 2, verses 13 through 14. Let's clean it up a little bit. For those of y'all that's supposed to be in the God First Gang room, the SOS room, y'all go over. I might go over a little bit in the class. That's okay. For those of y'all that's supposed to be where you're supposed to be, go there. But I'm going to continue. This is 1 John chapter 2, verses 13 through 14. It says, I write unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I write unto you, young men, because ye have overcome the wicked one. I write unto you, little children, because ye have known the Father. Verse 14. I have written unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong. I want you, brothers and sisters, to understand something. Any organization that does not have youth in it is a failure. The youth is the strength of any organization. So any organization that's serious about being serious needs to have some type of initiative, whatever, that deals with the youth. Any successful organization you see has something dealing with the youth to bring the youth in. So when the old folks like you and I pass away, the movement doesn't die. That's in the Bible. The small hats know that. So I want you guys to watch this video. And some of you guys have already seen this a million times. The small hats, guess who they have a problem with? They have a problem with black youth. Because black youth don't support them. So they're trying to figure out how to get black youth to support them. Let's watch this video real quick. Let me turn the volume all the way up.
Generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil. Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran. She said that Israel's biggest problem was young black people in the United States.
But they're at war with Israel right now. Israel and Iran and the U.S. are at war right now. And they're saying, even amongst that, their biggest problem is not that Iran. It's us. Let's keep going.
Video of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varnai Shurer. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
And I'm going to show you guys who the black leaders, one of the black leaders on the payroll. Yes, absolutely.
Some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem.
So I know y'all like, Priest, can you stop bringing it back? Come on, let's let it play. No, absolutely not. How do you reach our youth? You reach our youth through popular culture, popular persuasions, the rap music, the video games, the TV shows, like all the different powers and I'm saying all the different shows that are on television that every time you turn around, a black person's a drug dealer, a murderer, this, that, and the third, whatever. That's how you, and who's the executive producers, who's the money behind the shows? It's the small hats. So we have to talk about it. It's war on the youth through popular culture. We have to talk about it.
Some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community.
I'm gonna stop it right there. Y'all already heard it. Let's move on. And then we have politicians like Cory Booker, who is from New Jersey, who was championed as a black progressive politician. I want you guys to listen. Why do they have a problem with the black young people? Because they don't support the small hats. They're not like the older black generation that supported the small hats blindly. No, they ask questions. This is Amos chapter 2, verse 6. It says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Israel, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they, talking about the leaders of Israel, sold the righteous for silver and the poor for a pair of shoes, meaning the judges and the leaders could be bribed. When you read Amos chapter 2, it speaks about Edom and the other nations and why judgment came on them. When it speaks about us, judgment is coming on us because we could be bribed. Here is Senator Cory Booker having a meeting with the Israel Political Action Committee behind the scenes. Apparently somebody is filming this that should not have been. And I want y'all to listen to what he's telling them about how you get black people to support them, right? Buy out the youth. Buy the youth out. Listen. The person asking the question, their voice is low. I want you guys to pay attention to the captions. Watch the captions going across the screen. That's how you know what they're talking about. Listen.
We find that there is a greater identification, not with the history of Israel and the people to come, but with the suffering of the Palestinians without any real understanding of the history of Israel. African leadership, blacks are always going to be, as Jews are, always going to be some of the first to sign up to address the suffering. We shouldn't be afraid of that. And black communities do, but when it comes to justice for Israel and understanding and suffering in context, we need to be more vigilant in our time. And the black community, and I say this all the time, you have specifically about black leadership. First of all, we can thank you like never before. Because Obama is a raindrop compared to the storm that comes of young black leaders in our country who are phenomenally qualified, phenomenally good. We would see black governors, black senators, we would be critical that you find, that you continue to find, not even when they're Congress people, you find those black leaders when they're 22-year-olds.
You see that right there? You find those black leaders when they're 22 years old. You buy them out young. This is why she said what she said in the video before. The problem is with the youth. So here's what we do. We go to the college campuses and we target the youth and we buy them off. That's what we do.
That's what a key mission that they have that must continue, which is finding future leaders, young leaders.
So you go and you buy the youth off. That's what he's saying. Y'all saw it. I don't have to drag it out. This is Amos 5, verse 12. It says, "For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. They afflict the just. They take a bribe. They take a bribe, and they turn aside the poor in the gate from their right." So this sister, shout out to her. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. She is running for office. And she's saying all the other black folks that y'all see on the stage besides her is taking money from the small hats. I want y'all to hear from her. She's calling everybody out. This is what integration did. Everybody on the stage, this guy right here, this guy right here, everybody else, all of them are taking money. Y'all want to know why nothing gets done in our community? They're all taking money from the small hats. Just listen. Just listen.
I'll never take a single penny from corporate PACs or APACs, not now, not ever. But I want to be very clear that there are candidates up here who are bought and sold. Melissa Conyers-Irvin is one of them. And I'll tell you right now, Melissa, you should resign from your post because you've been a horrible city treasurer. And on top of that, you also take APAC money, and you are not here to represent the interests of the people that are right before you. In addition to that, Jason Friedman didn't have the courage to show up. Guess what? He's getting APAC aligned money as well. And, Anthony, I really like you, but I also know Michael. And
I respect her. She's talking to this nigga right here. Look at his face. Look at his face. This nigga right here. Y'all forgive me. He's a sellout too. And it's a woman, shout out to her. It's a woman calling him out to his freaking face. I'm with it. I'm with her.
Jason Friedman didn't have the courage to show up. Guess what? He's getting AIPAC aligned money as well. And, you know, Anthony, I really like you, but I also know Michael and Carrie Sachs gave you $7,000, and they are some of AIPAC's biggest donors. So I want to know if you're going to return that money.
Crickets. That nigga was taking money too. Let's keep going.
That folks can fix their mouths to say anything. What we hear this
AIPAC was originally with Jason Friedman. It was widely reported. When he started looking like he didn't have a path, he hedged up bets. And he decided to buy a black woman candidate.
I am a black woman born in Inglewood.
We don't care.
Raised on the west side.
We don't care. We love our Israelite sisters. We don't care. If you're taking money from AIPAC, we don't care. You're not gonna leverage that you're a black woman. You're our sister. We love you. We're not gonna leverage that. You're taking money from the white man. We don't care.
A black woman candidate.
I am a black woman born in Inglewood, raised on the west side. I don't have to prove anything to anyone, and that I will not turn my back on my community. If you think that I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. and vote against myself, that is insane.
So I'm the only candidate up here that AIPAC actually spent money to oppose. Melissa Carmen-Zervin, you do not get to hide behind the blackface in our community when you are selling us out.
Come on with it.
You do not get to take on Donald Trump when you're being funded by the very people that Trump is being funded by.
Yeah, there's a fight. This is what integration. This is what Martin Luther King understood when he said he integrated his people into a burning house. These politicians are bought and paid for, man. Let's go further. And we're almost done. Brothers and sisters, this is from Homeland Security's X page. They used to be called Twitter. You guys see that right there, what arrow is? So we're not making this up. They create villains, which is us. Remember, we went through the whole thing where they were going through the statistics. Black people are the most violent, we're the biggest murderers, so forth and so on. They create that. That's manufactured. And it's manufactured to use against us. The Department of Homeland Security, as you guys are going to see, is a perfect example of that happening in real time. This is from the Department of Homeland Security's X page, their Twitter page, right? It says, if you threaten or lay hands on our law enforcement officers, we will hunt you down and we'll find you really quickly. We'll see you cowards soon. So the Department of Homeland Security has this video right here, and you can see it's our people. Does everybody see that? This video has 37.8, probably more by now, because this was October 17, 2025. We're now, of course, in May of 2026. This video back then had 37 million views. We have become the face of laying hands on law enforcement. We become the face from the Department of Homeland Security. They created this video and made the face of black people the villains. Y'all see that?
Hold on, Priest. Is that the same video that the person who made the video came out and said that they took the video?
We're about to
took it from him and posted it.
Here it is. Here it is. This is the video originally. This video had nothing to do with ICE or nothing else. It had nothing to do with ICE or law enforcement or nothing else. It was just some black guys, bad decision. I will say that, bad decision, going online, making a video and putting your face behind a mask. They stole this video from a guy called Florida Name DJIT. This is the original video. You guys can see it right there. Let's come in and let's put the arrow right there so there's no ambiguity. the Department of Homeland Security scoured the internet and found a video that had nothing to do with messing with ICE officers or officers whatsoever. It was just some black guys in masks. They used it and turned it into something else. That's what they did. Here's the video. Here's the full video.
Blessed that these hoes on my dick because I'm flying like a jet. They gonna be surprised when they see I made this beat, baby T4 and Kanye West. As long as the hoe outside with the zoo shit never see home.
That's Matrix.
It had nothing to do. Huh? What you say, Zah?
I didn't hear it. It just, at least for me, I couldn't hear it. It sounded horrible, like it was in the Matrix.
I'll play it again.
Blessed that these hoes on my dick because I'm flying like a jet. They gonna be surprised when they see I made this beat, baby T4 and Kanye West. As long as the hoe outside with the zoo shit never see home.
So my advice, which they'll never see this, to young black men is don't post videos like that online, because the Department of Homeland Security actually took your video and made it something else. This video was never about anybody dealing with or laying hands on officers, or it had nothing to do with that. It was just some black guys that had a video and they had masks on, they have, you know what I'm saying, whatever they were doing, it had nothing to do with that whatsoever. This caption was Esau putting it on their video, taking their video and making it into something else. That's what they did.
Blessed that these hoes on my dick because I'm flying like a jet. They gonna be surprised when they see I made this beat, baby T4 and Kanye West. As long as the hoe outside with the zoo shit never see home.
Think about it. What did that video make you think that they're talking about attacking officers? Nothing. Nothing. They just made it into something. Be careful what you post online. Let's move forward. And here's another video. You know what I'm saying? Another caption of a video or image where they try to make us into criminals. They create villains to create war, foreign and domestic. This is what integration created. Let's talk about these silicone masks. Brothers and sisters, some of y'all know about it, some of y'all don't. These are silicone masks of black men. Now I have this one right here. This looks realistic. The guy has braids, all that. It looks like a black man. What if I told y'all you have white people that are going on Amazon and other websites and buying these silicone masks and putting these silicone masks on and pretending to be black people and committing crimes? Y'all know about that, right? Somebody's like, no, I didn't know about that. Let's learn it together.
I believe it.
Let's start with this fellow right here. You saying something up? Go ahead.
No. I say I believe it, brother. That sounds about white to me. So yeah.
So let's go into it. Because somebody said that's a conspiracy. Okay, let's start with this. It's going to get progressively worse. Here's a white guy that wanted to rob a bank. So he brought one of these silicone masks, put it on, robbed a bank, and pretended to be a black person. Let's read about it. In the spring of 2010, law enforcement in Ohio faced a baffling string of bank robberies that completely upended their reliance on video surveillance and eyewitness testimony, meaning eyewitnesses, they thought it was a black man that was robbing the banks. The videos, it looks like it was a black man that was robbing the banks, which goes into the statistics to make it seem like we're more prone to violence, we're more prone to criminality, right? A bald white man wearing glasses was caught on crystal clear security cameras holding up several banks and pharmacies, making off with thousands of dollars. Police quickly received tips from the public and arrested a local white man who looked absolutely identical to the suspect in the footage. However, the arrested man had an airtight alibi, leaving detectives completely stumped. The unbelievable truth unraveled when police finally tracked down the actual culprit at a local hotel. The mastermind was Conrad Zerdiak, whatever the hell that says, a 30-year-old black man who had pulled off the ultimate deception by purchasing a hyper-realistic, custom-made silicone mask, right? So these masks are something. Let's look at this. The killer of a Texas mom, so this white man killed a Texas mom, disguises himself as a black man to throw investigators off. Let's watch the video. Watch the video.
So when you arrive here, what do you see?
According to Detective Michael Harding, Alyssa Burkett pulled into her usual parking space at around 9 a.m.
This car was actually parked right here where this green van is, right here, and the assailant's vehicle had parked right next to her in this spot.
Were you here when everything happened?
Yes, I was sitting at my desk.
What did you see happen?
Witnesses say the assailant exited his vehicle, a black Ford Expedition SUV, with a gun in his hand.
She had the window up, and he shot right through the window.
Maintenance supervisor Darren Eichler, about 15 feet away,
It's horrible.
heard a gun blast and turned around.
What do you see? I see a black SUV starting to back out of the parking spot.
Investigators believe the shooter thought Alyssa was dead. The blast had destroyed her left eye and part of her face. But Alyssa Burkett was still alive.
She gets out of her car. She walks up to this landing to try to get help because she knows her coworkers are here.
The shooter, described by some as a black man.
The shooter was described as what? The shooter was described as what? A black man. The shooter was described as a black man. I want y'all to see that.
The shooter, described by some as a black man, got out of the vehicle and began sprinting toward Alyssa, this time with a large hunting knife.
Did you see him holding the knife? Yeah, in the hand.
After he starts to stab her, she's still fighting. On this window right here, there was a blood handprint smear where Alyssa was trying to get anyone to come out and help her.
But fearing it was an active shooter situation, they stayed inside, and the attacker began stabbing Alyssa repeatedly. Incredibly, Alyssa was still breathing when her assailant fled.
Once the suspect left, her coworkers came out to try to render aid.
One of her colleagues made this call to 911.
911, what is the address of the emergency? Someone came up and just shot my assistant manager. Where is the shooter? I don't have enough information. I need his car. He left his car. He literally left a second ago.
Fire department pulled up first. They come up. I get out of the way and let them do their thing. And
They start working on her right here.
immediately, yeah. And it was too late. She was gone.
Alyssa had been stabbed and slashed a total of 44 times. When Alyssa's mother, Teresa, arrived on the scene, she immediately gave the police a name, and it wasn't a black man.
So it wasn't us. I want y'all to know this white boy right here was wearing a mask that made him look like a black man. Keep going.
It was Andrew Beard.
But now he doesn't feel an evil person.
Teresa told detectives that Andrew Beard and Alyssa were in an ugly custody battle over their 1-year-old daughter, Willow Ann. Andrew, who had joint custody, had Willow a few days every week, but he kept pushing for primary custody, dragging Alyssa in and out of court hearings, emptying her bank account.
Once we talked to Alyssa's mom, we had an idea who we were looking for. And who is that person? That person was Andrew Beard.
Oh my God.
Within hours of the murder, investigators pulled Andrew's Ford F-150 over for an alleged traffic violation. He was with his fiancée, a woman named Holly Elkins. Police seized his truck, and inside they found jaw-dropping evidence.
So this is one of the makeup vials that we recovered from inside one of the bags in the F-150.
Y'all see the makeup vial? It's brown.
It was a foundation called Java.
It's really dark.
Very dark.
And the purpose of that was what, do you believe? Was to disguise Andrew Beard's face to make him look like an African American.
Honestly, Sean, the purpose, he killed the woman. They found that vial. The vial was brown, right? The idea was to make people believe that it was us that did that. The mask was the beginning of it, but it wasn't the only thing. Hold on a second. Let me bring Elazar back in, because I heard him drop out. Bring him back in. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
So when you arrive here, what do you see?
According to Detective Michael Harding, Alyssa Burkett pulled into her usual parking space at around 9 a.m. It was Andrew Beard.
I know he doesn't. He is an evil person.
Teresa told detectives.
So first of all, I want y'all to see the white family knows, even though he was trying to make it seem like it's black people, they knew it was the white man. They knew that. They knew that. The family knew that. Anyway.
That Andrew Beard and Alyssa were in an ugly custody battle over their 1-year-old daughter, Willow Ann. Andrew, who had joint custody, had Willow a few days every week, but he kept pushing for primary custody, dragging Alyssa in and out of court hearings, emptying her bank account.
Once we talked to Alyssa's mom, we had an idea who we were looking for. And who is that person? That person was Andrew Beard.
Oh my God.
Within hours of the murder, investigators pulled Andrew's Ford F-150 over for an alleged traffic violation. He was with his fiance, a woman.
You guys saw. He tried to make it seem like it was us that did the murder. He was wearing one of these masks that I showed y'all to make it seem like it was us. It was never us. This is what integration did. They start bringing themselves around us. We start hanging around them. Next thing that we know, they start blaming their behavior on us. I'm laughing not to be upset. So I don't use bad words. This is Psalms 109. Verse 1, it says, "Hold not thy peace, O God, of my praise. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue." We just saw the lying tongue. You have white people that will wear these silicone masks that you can buy. Let's go back. Let's go back. I want you guys to see this. The silicone mask is for sale on Amazon. Y'all see the arrow? This is the front. This is the back. This is the front. It is for sale on Amazon. It's not the only one. All these masks are for sale on Amazon. A white man can buy these masks, go commit a crime, and say it was you. Okay. This is Psalms 109. It says, "Hold not thy peace, O God of my praise. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They have compassed me about also with words of hatred and have fought against me without a cause. For my love, they are my adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer." Verse 5. "And they have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love. Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned." This is a prayer that we should say. Psalms 109. When these nations that do this shall be judged, let them be condemned. And let his prayers become a sin. Let his days be few. And let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless, his wife a widow. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. And let them seek their bread also out of their desolate places. Let their extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the stranger spoil his labor. Let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children. Let his posterity, meaning his children, be cut off. And in the generation following, let their name be blotted out. Let their iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Lord. and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them be before the Lord continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. Why? Because that he hath remembered not to show mercy, but persecuted the poor and the needy, as we saw. But persecuted the poor and the needy man, that he might even slay the broken in the heart. I'm going to stop right there. This is a good prayer. So I want you, brothers and sisters, to read Psalms 109 and pray against these other nations for what they do to us. Because you guys clearly see, we integrated with them with a heart or a mind of thinking that they would treat us well. They did not. It was terrible for us. So let's pray that the Most High judges them for that. That's the idea. With that being said, I'm going to stop sharing right now. I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. In the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, I pray that you brothers and sisters, got something from the class. If the class was understandable, you brothers and sisters could put 1 in the chat and let me know the class was understandable. Put 1 in the chat. Integration was a terrible idea. And that's not to blame Martin Luther King or those that were with him, per se. But it was a bad idea. I'm going to give it to you right now, Jahab. It was a bad idea because, unfortunately, some of our people did not understand that it's okay to want to be integrated with Esau, but integration would eventually destroy the things that we were doing amongst ourselves for ourselves, which is why we have nothing to show for ourselves today. And the racist white people want to make it seem as though it's because there's no black ingenuity. There's no black people that want to, build things. No, it's social engineering. With that being said, Zahab, you got it.
No, Salaka Priest. I was just letting me back on what you're saying. I think it was a psychological play. There was a movie, I forgot what movie it was, and it was like a setting. One of the scenes in the movie, there was like a dinner party, and this white dude was saying, "Well, this is what you get for letting the blacks go free," and blah blah blah. And another white dude was saying, "No, this is exactly what we want, because if we make them feel as though they are part of society, we can control them easier." I forgot what movie it was, but that's exactly what it is. It's a psyop, right? Make us feel as though we are a part of them, and quote unquote, we're integrated into society. We really and truly we turn our back on our own, like what Priest mentioned. Another thing that I don't know if you touched on it, because I kind of went in and out. A lot of black businesses suffered because of integration, right? Because back then, did y'all know that there was a black bus company, right, that went under because of integration? Because at the time we had businesses that was just catering just to our community, and when integration came, forget about it. The Negro League, right, that's another business that went under because of integration, all because we want to be a part of Esau society, and I get it, because we were separate, but we were not equal, right? Because our facilities, we made the best out of it, but it was inferior. Let's keep it real, because they had all the money. And when they dangled the money to our people, some of us took it, some of us didn't. And like the priest brought out the scripture that says that the heads thereof judge for reward or money. So what did they do? They go to the leaders, the heads, so to speak, which are, like what Malcolm's saying, baseball players, entertainers, comedians, musicians, so on and so forth, and bribe them. And this is where we are. But class was edifying, priest. Class was edifying.
Oh, praise the Most High. Okay, so time for announcements. I need y'all to stay with me now. I need y'all to run out the room because we're doing announcements now. So I want to tell y'all something. All right. So when myself and Elder Zahab, we broadcast to YouTube, we broadcast to 3 different channels, right? So I want y'all to know that YouTube has basically blocked or destroyed one of the channels that we have, which is why a lot of y'all don't get notification when we're going live and so forth and so on, right? YouTube has actually blocked one of our channels. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually try to rebuild from the beginning, from the ground up, a channel, because YouTube is actually blocking one of the channels that we actually broadcast to when we do these channels, these classes live. So what I'm going to do right now, I want everybody that's here, I'm going to put a channel. It's right there in the link right now. I want all you guys to go there and subscribe to that channel. YouTube has shadow banned Maccabees TV. Even though we still broadcast to it, we kind of still been doing the same thing. We understand YouTube has shadow banned Maccabees TV. It's very shadow banned. The channel has 20,000 subscribers, but they don't send out notifications. The views don't look like the way it's supposed to look. So we're trying to do something different. So I need for you, brothers and sisters, I'm going to put it again. I'm going to put the link again. I need for y'all to go to the newer channel we're going to promote in the future. And I need for everybody to subscribe. Go there right now and subscribe. You can come back, but go there and subscribe, because YouTube is trying to block this. So we're trying to fight it. All right. All praise to the Most High. I see some of y'all saying y'all subscribed. Love y'all for that. We love y'all for that. Right. We're trying to get the word out. So all praise to the Most High for that. For those of y'all that are still here, whatever channels y'all are watching, make sure you guys hit the like button. All praise to the Most High for that. We love y'all. I pray that the classes that we're doing is edifying and y'all are learning. But the YouTube is trying to block to make sure that other people that can be edified from what y'all are being edified from are not seeing it. So we decided we're going to start from the ground up, which is 0 subscribers, and build that channel up and see what happens. And maybe they might do something to that channel too. We don't know, but we're going to try. Right.
Hey, brothers and sisters, before y'all leave, go in the comment section if you're watching us on Lines of Israel class or Maccabees TV. Go in the comment section, leave a comment. I don't care. Say shalom, say whatever. Leave a comment, because the more comments and likes we get, YouTube, for the algorithm's sake, it pushes the videos out. All right. So just leave us a comment. All right.
We do appreciate those of y'all that support us, and I see a lot of y'all in the comments saying y'all went over and subscribed. So you guys will see us pushing this for the next couple of weeks. We're going to try to build that channel from the ground up. That's not shadow banned per se. And we'll see what happens with that. We're still going to broadcast to Maccabees TV and the other channels that we have, but we're building something from the ground up that they haven't had a chance to. Maccabees TV is very old. It goes back to 2012. And so it was shadow banned. So we decided we're going to try to do something different and see what happens. So you guys will definitely see us trying to build that channel. For those of y'all that are here, please support. I see a lot of y'all doing that already. And we love y'all for that. All right. With that being said, a couple of announcements real quick. So most of y'all, know, hold on a second. We have comments on the stage. Why is that there? I don't know. Okay, let's do it this way. Hold on, I don't know why. Hold on a second, guys. Why do we have... All right. All praise to the Most High. My bad. So most of y'all are familiar with what we have with the academy. For years, and this is an announcement, I want y'all to understand what we're doing because things are going to change. Most of y'all are familiar with our academy, right? So many people that have taken the academies in the past are not even Lines of Israel members. Y'all been in other camps. We're not going to name the camps, but we've allowed y'all to come into our academies, even though you don't want to join the camp, and we've allowed y'all to do that. Things are going to change, but change sometimes is good. It's okay. So this is the Future Leaders Academy. For those of y'all, and it's going across the bottom of the screen, that want to join the academy, if you join this academy, the Future Leaders Academy, that means you want to join the camp. I'm going to say it again. If you send an email and say you want to join the Future Leaders Academy, that means you want to join the camp. No more going forward should I receive any emails of anybody saying you want to take the Future Leaders Academy, but you don't want to join the camp. No. The Future Leaders Academy is only for people that want to join the camp. I want to be very clear about that. Now, what about if you want to learn? Because everybody, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people want to come over here and learn, but you're already in another camp. Maybe you're not getting what you get. I'm not even gonna say that. I mean, I'm not gonna say that. You want to come over here and you want to learn. Okay. There's something new coming. There's another academy coming in the future. It's called the Israelite Apologetics and Training Academy. Something completely different from the Future Leaders Academy. This is for those of y'all that don't want to join the academy. So I'm telling y'all something. When you email us, you have to know which academy you want to be in. Do you want to be in the Future Leaders Academy, where you want to join the camp? Or do you want to be in the academy where you just want to learn, but you don't want to join the camp? Y'all going to have to learn that. And I'm unveiling this today, and I'm going to talk about this in the future, so I'm not expecting everybody to understand what's happening right now. But we're making changes. You can do this without wanting to join LOI. You don't have to want to join LOI to do this. But this is going to be different than this. It will. You're still going to learn a lot over here. So when you are sending me an email and saying you want to do an academy, you have to say which one. Future Leaders means you want to join the camp. Whereas this academy, you don't want to join the camp, but you still want to learn. And there's going to be information, great information for both. But we're separating the two. For years, I've allowed people that did not want to join the camp to come into our academies. And nobody else, there's no other camp, y'all name it, that did that but me. I've allowed people that didn't want to join the camp to sit in our academies, and I teach y'all and give y'all information that you're not getting anywhere else. And I allowed it to happen. I'm still going to teach people that don't want to join the camp because I'm not like that. But there's going to be a separation. I just want y'all to know that. This is the academy you do have to join. So when you guys send me, the reason why I'm saying this is because we're getting emails for people saying, when's the next academy? From people I know don't want to join the camp. That's cool. Unlike other camps, I'm still going to give y'all information. I'm not going to hold nothing from you, but it just depends on where I'm going to send you. And this is in the future. So stay here. You have the Future Leaders Academy, which is people that want to join the camp. And you have the Apologetics Academy for people that don't want to join the camp, but you still want to learn. So in the heading, when you send me an email, you have to say which one you want to do. Today's the first time I'm saying this, so I'm going to say this a lot until it becomes, you know what I'm saying, where people understand exactly what we're looking for. Also, for the sisters that want to join the camp, y'all are going to have your own academy as well, right? Hold on one second. Where is it? I don't have it here. I thought I did. But the sisters are going to have their own academy outside of the brothers. I thought I had it here. I don't. But We'll talk about it next week. I'm gonna keep repeating myself over and over again until everybody understands, so that when you guys send us emails, in the heading of the email, you're gonna tell us which academy you want to join. You want to join the Future Leaders Academy, which means you want to be LOI. That's this one right here. You want to join the other academy, which you don't want to be LOI, but you still want to learn. Okay. And then there's going to be one for the sisters on their own. Hopefully everybody's clear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So people know, because you don't want to put all your time. Brother Brother Ryan, you caught what I caught too. Priest, I know AI did that image for the Apologetic Training Academy. Double check the menorah. It got 9, 4 and 4, 8 and 1, 9.
It sure did.
It sure did, but it's all good. It's all good. I do want to say this, right? We're going to consolidate also. I know there's a lot of Lines of Israel YouTube channels out there. Like you got LOI Detroit. Shout out to our brothers and sisters in Detroit. That's an official camp. Colorado, that's an official camp, right? And Bronx and New York City, right? These other LOI, maybe YouTube channels that we're going to start pulling them down to the point where it's only the authorized 4 or 5 or whatever the case may be. And they're all going to be branded. If you don't see these logos, if you don't see the brand on it, so to speak, then it's either a fake or it's an older one. Bring it to our notification so we could pull it down, because you don't want to cheapen the brand, right? You got 100 different channels out there, and then it's not being updated and ran the right way. We're just going to consolidate it down to 5, 6, or maybe 7, and those are going to be branded the right way, and everything is going to be flowing the right way. So I just wanted to bring that out too, Priest.
I kind of did this kind of quick, so yeah, I appreciate
it's all good.
I have 7 different logos. I use this one. I didn't look at it, but believe it or not, I have 7 different logos for the Apologetics Academy outside of our camp. I just chose the first one, which I shouldn't. I should have been more vigilant, but it's all good. I want y'all to understand what we're doing, though. I want y'all to understand what we're doing, because I'm seeing emails coming in still, like, when's the next academy? And I know half the people that's emailing us don't want to join the camp, which is cool. So you're gonna have your own place to go. There's a place to send you. But for people that want to join the camp, there's a place to send you. So there's gonna be a stratification. There was not that before, but I want y'all to understand there will be that going forward. Go ahead, Sal.
In the chat, Sister Charlotte Patterson, you said we're in Colorado. Shoot us an email. Lions of Israel info lionsofisraelinfo@gmail. Shoot us an email, and I'll send your information over to Sergeant Micah Allah. He's over Colorado.
Also, the joint LOI email as well, that's going across the bottom of the screen. If you don't go to that email, you go to this one too, and we'll send you to Sergeant Micah Allah. So either one, right? Either one. But we changes are happening, and change is good. Change is good, right? A lot of people from other camps have come into our academies. Y'all look at the chat. Some of the people that's telling you the academies are good are not even in the camp today. And these are our family. We love them. We love them. But they weren't even in our camp, and we did that. But we are going to make some changes to that, though. So that way, the people that actually want to fellowship with us, we need to deal with them a little bit differently. But we don't want to, for lack of a better word, block the brothers and sisters out that we love y'all too. Y'all not going to be LOI because y'all are another camp. We don't want to deny y'all an opportunity to learn if you feel as though over here there's some things you can learn. We're still going to give that to y'all. That's not going to change. We're just changing certain things as far as what academy you're going to be dropped off into. That's all. But it's all good. It's all love. I pray that you brothers and sisters understand what we're doing. It's all love. Zahab, is there anything else?
Sister Ishikarai Princess said, change is good. Yes, it is, sister. Sister Tahara said she need that logo on a shirt. Yes, sister. I'm pretty sure Priest already thought about that. as pursuant to the store we're gonna have open. But we're not gonna talk about that today. Today's a Sabbath, but change is good, and there's more change coming. And yeah, all praises to the Most High for blessing us and putting the spirit on priests to lead the congregation, and put the spirit on the brothers and sisters also to do their part. You know, I just see us growing and pushing the word out more. And yeah, by the grace of the Most High, man, we're all laboring for the same penny. You know, it's just how we go about doing the labor. Right. So all praise to the Most High, man. You're in the right place, brothers and sisters. May the Most High bless y'all. You enjoy your Shabbat. With that, I say peace, priest.
Like Elazar said, y'all are in the right place. If y'all are here every week, it should be clear that y'all are in the right place. And I don't, you know, in my opinion, I don't know. I have a hell of a class for y'all next week. So y'all might want to come back. You might, maybe you don't want to. You might want to come back next week. I got a hell of a class for y'all next week. It'll be the Most High. Well, it's your brother Priest Daniel, represent Lines of Israel, Maccabees TV, along with my brother Elazar. If you're here, you have not liked the video, repent, believe the gospel is wicked as hell. We'll see you guys again next week. Most High will, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that, I say shalom.
We send them prayers up. And then the blessings come down. Yeah. Let's get it. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. If you say you're a king, you gotta have the standards. I say that I pray when I don't have the answers. Don't know the way, then prayer has to come in. It's okay to pray and don't ask for nothing. Ready for war, but I pray for peace. Know the book says, don't let your prayers cease. Pray for the strength to pray for enemies. Pray to forget these childhood memories. Put on 2011s, it's the wrong shoes any day. Cowboys team, man, you're gonna lose anyway. Don't come for me, sorry, I don't got a team. Can't be MLK if I never said I got a dream. I pray to Yahweh that he bless you. I pray that you pass, cause life will test you. I pray on the days that things are stressful. Remember, Israel to God is something special. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. Yahweh Shah came so he could feed his people. Solomon prayed that he could lead his people. Wise as he was, he didn't see the evil. I pray for the day Yahweh frees the people. Babylon the Great breaking all walls down. Kanye's song, when it all falls down. I pray every day, that's a part of me, that we all celebrate like classic R&B. Cool in this gang, there's so many speakers. I pray that you learn, we have so many teachers. I pray for the kingdom, cause it needs to come. I pray for Isaiah 14:1. Always be thankful, what my lady said. Don't ask for much, just my daily bread. I pray on the days that things are stressful. Remember, Israel to God is something special. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. We send the prayers up, and then the blessings come down. Prayer's y'all weapon, y'all. Make sure you pray every single day. Don't just ask.